how will you handle people disagreeing with what you're trying to get across?
Well, I mean, that happens, you know, that rich conversation between people to try to reach some type of a consensus solution is something I have a lifetime of experience with. As superintendent of schools, I made lots of recommendations. Most of them were successful, some got adjusted, and some failed. And so I know you can't get anything done unless you build a consensus around your ideas. And so I'm okay with working through the process and don't have to, you know, have my way every time from the beginning.
I noticed that you called it rich conversation. I think that's interesting because some of those meetings could be a little heated.
Well, I've been through a lot of controversies as a school district leader, and there's nothing more emotional than parents when their children are involved. So these issues usually don't involve children, and I think will be a little bit less dicey to deal with. Sure, there'll be controversy, but I am used to that through a lifetime of experience, and we'll work through it.
You know, when I've seen you a few times in town, usually you have a Hawaiian shirt on. Then I noticed when we were in here today, I thought, that's right, it's Dr. Don Brann. So tell us a little bit about that and your fabulous title.
Well, I got the title. I was the first one in my family to go to college. I grew up in a family that's socioeconomically lower socioeconomic class, didn't have a car or a television until I was 8 or 9 years old. Just kept plugging away, going to school, graduated from Dana Middle School in Wiseburn, went on to Hawthorne High School, went to school with the guys who formed the Beach Boys in the early 60s, went to El Camino College from there, graduated, and then on to the University of Southern California, where I majored in business administration and picked up a lot of concepts and principles there that I apply to my leadership in the public schools. I kept going after the bachelor's degree in business, though, went back to school, got a teaching credential, and then followed that up with a master's degree in elementary education, and finally a doctorate in educational administration back at USC. So I was in school 23 years after I graduated from 8th grade. That always stuns the 8th graders when I announce that at their graduation ceremony, because they're sitting there thinking, only 4 more years. And I did 23 after I left there. And I tried to get every ticket I could in the book, every certificate, every diploma and degree, because I wanted to keep doors open for myself in life. I never wanted to be trapped in any position. I wanted to be able to go and do what I wanted to do. And looking back on my career, that's worked for me. And I just kept plugging away, though. I wasn't the sharpest student coming out of high school, but I persevered.
Certificates and degrees are incredible. I'm not taking that away from you. What personal attributes do you possess? And I know you're not running for election, but what personal attributes do you possess that really will take the city forward?
Oh, I think a great sense of humor, from what people have told me, and the ability to work well with other people, to not burn bridges, to come up with creative solutions. I'm a bit of a divergent thinker, and I'm able to think outside the box, so to speak. I've been blessed with vision, and I have an entrepreneurial type approach. And putting all that together has put me in a good space for leading the Wiseburn School District these past 15 years. And I think that same skill set will work here for the city.
What do you hope for El Segundo a few years from now, long-term goals? Where do you hope that we'll be?
Well, I think our best days are ahead of us, and we're going to see the expansion of Plaza El Segundo, which will pump more sales taxes and other benefits back into the city from land that wasn't productive for a long time. I think we'll see a better mix of retail businesses to go along with the variety of restaurants that we have on Main Street. Since I've been on the council, we've already agreed to put out to bid Fire Station number 2. We've heard the announcement from our mayor last Wednesday at State of the City that Frank Gehry, one of the most famous architects in the world, is coming to El Segundo. And our main street is going to be changing in character through lighting and signage, and things are starting to take off in every quadrant of the city. I think we'll solve some of our traffic problems and mitigate some other challenges that we have, but we definitely are doing well financially and should look forward to a bright future.
What is one of your favorite things about this city? Something that you hope never changes?
The vibe you get from the small town atmosphere is something I think that those of us who've been here a long time cherish because it's different than the other cities. And I think geography has helped us in that way. Some of the things that we have issues with, like the airport, the refinery, the ocean, also serve as natural geographic barriers for us and give us a little enclave type feeling separated from the greater Los Angeles area by these virtually impenetrable boundaries, and preserve the characteristics of our small town city.
You know, I saw you at the Elderfest last weekend, and on that subject, do you think we will ever have a senior care center, assisted living?
I think it's in our future. We don't have one now, so people who spend most of their lives here in El Segundo, when they get to that point in their life and they need assistance and they can't get it within the home, they have to leave the city. And I think a lot of people would like to stay here and have a site to go to that could take care of those needs when they're at that level. So I don't think it's unusual to expect a city of 16,000 people to offer those types of services on a private basis.
Tell us something that most people don't know about you. Or something that you'd like to share, of course.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty open and will share just about anything about myself and my life, but you know, I'm a big fan of the USC Trojans football team, and we've been having some great years, having only lost 8 games in the last 6 years. And I think that's all attributable to leadership in Pete Carroll, the coach. Is a good demonstrated evidence of what difference leadership can make. I like different kinds of music, and I drive around town in a little red sports car. So I'm easy to spot. I've been married to Sari for 41 years next month. We're high school sweethearts. We went together 5 years before we got married, so we have spent most of our lives together. She also came to the Wiseburn School District in 1953. She was in the 2nd grade, I was in the 3rd. We weren't married then. And there's lots of interesting things. I've had a wonderful life, and I'm looking forward to continuing it.